This is Past the Rock.
I'm a man!
Oh no, I messed all this up.
Fuck it, we do it live?
Recording live from two locations. This is Past the Rock. I'm not going to be able to hit that button right now. I'm Patrick, and this week, for today at least, in part one of this week, I'm joined by Jacob, aka Bethke.
And I'm happy to be joining you, forcing you because this week I'm going to run off to southern Los Angeles, not even Los Angeles, Southern California, to go make it official with both the state of California, the country of the United States, and with all my fam, So
There you go.
Go get hitched.
Well, the people of Hyrule are upset that they're not getting 6 hours of me tonight, but they'll survive. So we're going to mostly do some college football as the intro would suggest here. I like the idea of someone listening to the audio version of that and they just get that audio for the first 45 seconds. I would probably not stay tuned. That's fine. I need to figure out how to switch the way I'm doing it to where the video shows up on Spotify also.
Yeah.
But anyways, I digress. So yeah, no Caesar on this one tonight, but me and Caesar will get together tomorrow and cover mostly the National Football League.
Everyone's talking about the Cowboys and their Super Bowl odds. It's a good time.
I don't know that that's what they're talking about, but they are saying good things about them, at least this week. So, I don't know if you want to get any of that kind of stuff out of the way real quick before we do a deep dive into the college game.
No, because I'm about to spend so much time ranting and raving about how we still don't know shit about most of these teams that I can't,
You didn't want to get your Mark Sanchez protection package?
Oh, that one's tough. Yeah, that content is interesting. Sanchez, former USC star, the last of a great run for the Trojans before they went into peril, and now who knows when they'll be back.
I'm sure they'll be back before some other,
Well, back is always relevant, right? Back is
they usually rise back up at least a little bit eventually. But
like A&M can never be back because they've always just been.
Because they've never been there, yeah.
Texas, whenever they're back, they're back right now. They're good enough to win some games, maybe a title in a few years span.
I'd say the last 2 years more so maybe than this year.
Kalen DeBoer at Alabama. Oh, you haven't won a title recently? Not back.
That's funny because no one was making Bama's back jokes when Saban actually drug them back out of the muck and mire.
Oh no, but now we've had a fucking whole lot of history lessons about the fucking everything that happened in the 80s and earlier with them. So everyone is more than well versed in Alabama lore at this point because of how long Saban was dominant. So back is always relevant.
And they're about to lose the voice of the SEC. Paul Feinbaum.
Oh, Feinbaum, yeah, maybe potentially.
He's running for Senate, so he's not going to be on ESPN.
Yeah, they pulled the plug on ESPN.
Which
pulled the plug
surprises me. I don't really understand.
His content's still up on YouTube, it seems, though. I don't know
why.
I would
imagine anything old. I would imagine because they still own that.
No, like they're like reacting to Texas losing to Florida and all that shit.
Maybe they gave him like a Colbert date and out. I don't know. I didn't really look too much into it because I don't consume conference media like that.
Just like the conversation around those late night talk show hosts, it is probably a larger sign of other things that are political and happening. But ultimately, there's also a reality where I don't think Paul Feinbaum was that much of a draw. I think it's just really niche SEC. maybe I think he was probably seeing the writing on the wall, which is like he probably could have done this at a lot of times in his life. And like, I don't think he's a never Trumper that wants to save the Republican Party. Maybe I am, and that's his motivation, or maybe
I don't know anything about what he's pertaining to.
He's a Republican. I don't
but-
know. I don't really know much about his platform, and I guess we'll all find out very soon. Look, they're dumb people running Washington D.C. If you don't believe me, Tommy fucking Tuberville has been a part of this congregation of people for a very
How
long time.
bad does that make Herschel Walker feel?
Yeah, I mean, basically, and that really shows you that racism's still alive in these people's hearts, and some of them, because Herschel really had all the qualifications to be just as useless as any other politician they've elected. And
He's a way better football player.
Yeah, they turned him down quite steadfastly.
So you're happy
I'll
the
find
Cowboys won, obviously. Who you guys got this week?
Oh, dude, I think it's the Giants and then Washington. No, Panthers. Finally,
Okay,
yeah, Panthers. So
that's another one.
we'll see how that goes.
Muscle your way through.
Dakota Prescott MVP, T. Boone Pickens funding the offense.
I don't know what that means.
T. Boone Pickens funded Oklahoma State and Dallas. George Pickens is the best offensive player right now.
I missed the George Pickens connection.
So, what else? Sorry for the dude that got hurt, but we got 3 young linebackers playing for the Dallas Cowboys, and the fans are happy. So that's all good. Positives.
Sweet.
Pro game. It's on.
Did you see that the Vikings got screwed out of a field goal in London?
I did see that. I heard someone say that people would be more upset if they would have lost, for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I don't know that I watched any of that other than Pete Wentz winning the game.
It also sucks for Will Reichard, who had a perfect season going on field goals, and now he's got one miss because there was a camera wire cable in the way, and the NFL just didn't care, apparently.
Part of the field played as a license. No, that's bullshit.
That's not the rule, actually.
I really didn't care that much, but if I was that kicker and his agent, yeah, we gotta talk. We gotta talk some shit for sure.
Yeah, at least clean that off the stat sheet.
Yeah, I don't see where that's his fault if he was just some run of the mill guy. But if he's perfect on the season and that happens, it's only a few weeks in the season, but that's enough. Like, it's a nice start. But anyway,
another brief little tease for tomorrow's NFL podcast. We all had a really terrible week of picking games, and that's
Actually, in fact, I'm going to do that now because if I don't, I won't remember, and I'm pretty bad at it.
Let me see if I got in last night's game on here yet. Nope.
I did pick Jacksonville, didn't I?
You just. Oh, we'll give your score. You went 6-8 this week, and you are tied for the best. It doesn't get that much worse, but it was a rough week.
I see. All right, I'm gonna remember to do that later. But
no worries. You got 2 whole days.
Yeah, I know. Most people care about lineups. I think I kept Baltimore in knowing Cooper Rush was their quarterback.
I mean, I don't remember what we actually decided on, but as long as you don't change it after a game's kicked off, then I feel good about it. Fantasy football.
Just like Favre, you got to let it rip sometimes.
So yeah, it's we're seeing a level of parity in this year's NFL that we normally see in the NBA these days, but
or in college football.
Or college football, absolutely, yeah, a lot more. I would say at least in college football, it feels like there might be a small scattering of teams that are a little bit better than everyone else, but
I think I could make an easy argument that there's a 2-3 SEC team that might slip into the playoff if they
easily.
If they can
I'm already. Don't worry. I'm already workshopping how Texas is going to sneak in and come to Denton to play the first round playoff game.
Oh my God, that would be incredible. But yeah, so
they'd move it away from Apogee. It'd be awful. They'd move it to freaking Jerry World.
I don't know that they can. I've been. It's one of my favorite things.
You don't
to
think
do
the
in college
NCAA, or you don't think whoever? I don't even know who owns the playoff.
If the Akron Zips make it, you think they're not hosting? If they can host, you think they're not hosting?
It depends. There's not Jerry Jones involved there.
Yeah, I mean, and the Cowboys have a partnership
and
already
the Longhorns,
with the school, so.
And I bet the Longhorns will be like, yeah, let's go play this somewhere else.
We will see. Yeah, that would be an interesting question. I think that would be very fun. I don't think we're going to see that super likely.
Not very likely. Not very likely.
I do think that would be a funny issue. If it honestly, maybe not Texas, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, like they could all be in a
Less
situation.
fun for me, but still fun. I'd still go.
But I think for the argument of if UNT hosted, would they host? I think it is interesting if it's another Texas school or even Oklahoma.
Yeah, well, I think the Longhorns would be the only one that would even try to move it.
We do know the audacity of the Texas program. You're right. The audacity
my
of the
team,
Texas program is
fucking
pretty
obnoxious.
They don't have any shame. In fact, there's a thread on the internet we were laughing with earlier about how they blew up the Big 12 for no good reason.
I mean, everyone else could have just gone along with it.
It was fun watching the people argue because, like, there's dates that help you paint an image like Texas wasn't the villain here, but
I mean, really,
you definitely miss out a lot of context of the 2000s and how those went
look,
down.
they were just ahead of what all those other schools wanted to do in terms of what you needed, which was you really do need to have your own network.
Mac
you just
and
don't need it
DeLoss,
to be a cable channel.
Mac and DeLoss Dodds were on their Tupac shit dealing with everybody in that conference.
Well, what do you conquer when you've conquered everything? You got to find something else. So
they were flagrant. But anyway,
let's move into
we'll get into this week's slate,
the big college game. What you got?
So we're gonna start. You have the first clip of the day, but we're gonna start by talking real quick on the Ohio State beatdown. We got a 42-3 beatdown of the Wisconsin Badgers, Minnesota Golden Gophers.
They would not be upset at all that you confused the two of those.
I do feel bad, and I have a friend that's literally like that played for Minnesota, but it's Minnesota.
In my head, I thought you were gonna be like, he's literally a Gopher.
Well, depending on how seriously he takes his alumni status. But yeah, Ohio State punt lateral. Okay, I don't know if I saw this because this game was kind of useless. It wasn't as bad of a beating. I know that. I know that this game slowly became an ass whooping, but final 42-3 is tough.
I was surprised there was anything to take from this game, but this is pretty cool.
Penalties, but he did have a team-high 9 PBUs. Brandon Innes will have some room to work with from the 44-yard line. Oh, he's going to throw it back across the field. Styles is going to take it down the sideline. Good blocking, and Lorenzo Styles has it to the 21. Special teams get special for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, so not a touchdown or anything, but still a pretty cool looking play.
And it proved the point. That was 21-3 in the third quarter. That's definitely.
That's how most of mine work when I'm playing NCAA on the easier settings. Is I keep it. The game seems close, and then all of a sudden the computer just breaks, and I can just score at will.
Well, some of those games they have like momentum things that you actually might be leveraging.
Yeah, apologies to anyone listening without visuals on this. You're just going to hear the sound of these clips, and you can't see them. Yeah. Go to YouTube.
Yeah. Podcasts are visual now. I know it's actually fun. Zach Lowe, from the NBA lore, he actually cracks me up a lot because he is like reluctant about doing the video podcast for the Bill Simmons Network.
I get it.
He didn't have to do for ESPN that much, and I do find it funny. I'm like, yeah, bro, I think it is kind of strange, but like as someone who used to listen to an obnoxious amount of podcasts, I listen to zero through podcast platform and all through YouTube. And I know many people who do this, and I don't know why this has been a trend. I can't even explain it, and I have the habit. It is a little weird.
The UI of most... I don't really like the UI of Spotify or YouTube Music. I mean, I use YouTube Music to listen to music, but it's not great for finding it, especially if you're talking podcast, not finding it and getting exactly what I want immediately.
The easiest answer, because we're already here all the damn time. A lot of us.
Yeah.
It's really just YouTube.
I don't know if YouTube has an option for RSS feeds, but that's the thing to do with any of your podcasts is pull your RSS feed, put it in your thing, and then you just have them all in one place. But you got to put in the time.
Yep.
Which I'm not doing.
That's all right. We're just clickbait at this point. We just need to do a clickbait for every game we talk about. And you can just have it on the reveals part. But no, honestly, I've been talking a lot of good things about the Miami Hurricanes, but the Bucks have passed every test with flying colors. I mean, really have.
Yeah, they look really good. Honestly, the fact that Texas was that close to them is more surprising every week, but
I don't think it's that. I think Texas is very easy to explain, but we'll get to them in just a second. Miami handles its business against Florida State. This one finishes 28-22, but really is just a bunch of garbage time scores. I would say the highlight was this bomb right here.
Oh my God, what is going on in the background here?
There, like a god is watching on.
Is that a bust of Irvin?
It's a bust of Michael Irving with a $100 bill.
That's a really nice throw.
Yeah, I
Good
mean,
job, Carson.
At this point, I do think it
Was
might
he like 35?
and he might be the number one pick by default. I mean, I think there's a lot that can go into it. Alabama's quarterback's definitely making an interesting case for himself, but I do think it's fun. It's interesting. Miami is very, very good. They're very loaded. Defensively, they're quite nasty, like very nasty. If we talk about back, Miami is on the precipice of back, because what Miami is when they're good, maybe not always going to win the title, but they're pumping dudes out in the NFL. You know what I mean? They've been very close to this, but I think a lot of the reboots of Miami that we've seen over the last decade or so have been Big 12 football teams, you know? Teams that can score 40 but probably give up 50 more often than not. And now Miami's back to Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, you know, just nasty, nasty NFL player after nasty NFL player attacking you on the defense. So then if you have your Beck in your offense with this really talented freshman kid that they have, you know, it changes things. You had one more clip that you wanted to show from this one?
Yeah, I don't even know what's going on, but this was just funny that I found on the internet. Something that happened, sideline altercation, if you will.
Low T loss on a whiteout, but a stunner in the Rose Bowl today. Underneath, this is Chroma, and they are swarming to the sidelines and bring him down. Is there going to be, there is a flag, so Miami got a little over-aggressive after they rounded him up, but Holly...
Hey, Holly went down. Holly, okay, you all right? You all right, girl?
I have an injury update on myself. I'm good, but what I wanted to point out before I got wiped out was just look at the uniform of Bain and Messidor. These guys are going after it. They are filthy, they're tired, they're sweaty, and they keep putting so much pressure on guys. I just wanted to point out, these are like the old...
Hold on, Holly. We're showing you. Watch those knees. Watch the knees.
Watch the knees, girl. Come on.
My back pedal, I was waiting for you guys to toss it. My back pedal was off.
Michael Irvin did not stand in front of and protect you there.
Jason Taylor.
Right, hey,
we got Michael Irvin.
To protect me out here.
Did they get you? I was scared I'd get a flag. I leaned into it a little bit.
All right. Well, next time I'll protect you if you're not going to protect me.
Michael was not chivalrous there. I got to tell you.
Couple things going on there. Hilarious anytime people get knocked over on the sideline. Hope they're okay, because I did not look good for Mike's leg.
Yeah, Mike got it worse, actually, now that I looked at that. She 100%. Actually backpedaled just enough to be...
She just kind of fell down.
And that's unfortunate, because that's the second most hated woman in the WNBA.
She had no time for the referee giving the penalty over the call, and then the guys in the broadcast booth had no time for her as they start to talk over her. That whole... What was that? A minute long is just a cluster. It's awesome.
They were like, "Hey, Holly, shut the fuck up. Can you please talk over you getting wiped out on camera? You see it? Show the iPad. Can you just give us a play-by-play?"
Yeah, talk to Michael Irvin about it.
Mike just fucking all kinds of, mic'd up.
Mic'd up. Sanchized.
Yeah. So Miami, really good. Ohio State, really good. Am I living in the year 2001? Maybe.
It feels similar.
Maybe. Oklahoma blanks Kent State 44-0. So that happened.
They didn't blow it. So, hey, now they might be getting their quarterback for next week.
Mateer has obviously been out. Mateer, yes, today there was news that he's going to try to play. I don't know how I feel about that. Probably mixed. Like I think that Texas... I feel very unfortunate for Oklahoma in this, because Texas honestly didn't have a lot going for them.
Both schools have a very complicated decision to make on who should play quarterback this week.
I don't think that at all. You're oh my god. Okay, well, we got to get to it, because we got another team to talk about, because I went chronologically a little bit here. But Aggies ended up handling business against Mississippi State. I did circle this game. They did and they didn't. I see a lot of things about A&M that are consistent. I would say 90% of them are good. 10% of them very concerning for their legitimacy as a contender this year. I think the quarterback is really good. Quarterback makes a lot of subpar decisions. They're also a very highly penalized team. These two things have consistently been about this team. At the same time, they've got great set of backs. They've got a great receiving core, and their defense might be one of the best in the country. So those things matter.
The school is built on a cult of discipline.
Until the swagger copter came through. But anyway, this was one of the better plays. We'll give them shouts out here. This is mostly put on. Oh, nice.
That is a very good look, though.
And then you got the Yell leaders kind of just hanging out there in the
I didn't even see them. God damn it, somebody.
Oh, no, this is me for
Jesus,
sure.
That's, yeah.
KC Concepcion.
You're playing Mississippi State? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, again, Mississippi State is a good team. They are one of these programs who's invested heavily in the transfer portal. They are trying to compete. Hell of a ball. You see why Reed is so good when he is good. And then this kid Concepcion is just really talented.
Okay, I thought that's what his name was. I thought I might have seen it wrong.
He's probably a lock to be an NFL player next year, I would guess. And he's definitely one of those things about the Aggies that gives me a little bit of pause when I poo-poo their chances.
I think that's the best helmet I've ever seen him wear.
Yeah, no, the Aggies have done a good job of branding things. I really think the Elko era has felt more like a genuine attempt to brand A&M into the future, where the Kevin Sumlin era just felt like this really cringy venture capitalist version of trying to make a football program take the next step. Let's just put a bunch of money and pretend we're cool.
Yeah, Jimbo was definitely the last era in that bloom before it popped. So
yeah, and Jimbo was similar to the Mike McCarthy thing. It's like, I'm not actually going to change the culture much. I'm just going to see, like, you guys just have a theory that you can't get over the hump. I got one of them things on my finger, so I'm going to go ahead and cash this check because you think this is all that needs to change. And, like, you're too stupid to realize that there's more that needs to change.
Well, you don't get it. There was a football barn.
And with the Dallas Cowboys, maybe they've made the right decision, maybe they're not. A little more doubtful overall on that one always. A&M, Elko wasn't like the craziest hire in the world. In some ways, they were almost stuck with Mike Elko because they were definitely going to be the best job I think he was going to get no matter what. He also has his roots with them. But ultimately, he was, I think, the best hire. Will he win a championship? Will he give A&M fans all the glory and satisfaction they want? I don't know. But I do like his odds better than I probably like any A&M coach's odds in my moving into the Penn State franchise, now we'll call them, probably the opposite. If I feel so good about Mike Elko and what he can do, I feel almost completely opposite about James Franklin and have for some time.
This is a baffling one because there was at least a neat narrative about him before, and now you're like, oh wait, now where do I put this? Where do I table this?
I'm going to save the statistics for until we show all the clips, but there's some funny ones. And I think it's also fair to preface this with a huge hangover loss last week. Fair. This is them on the butt end of this Big Ten decision to schedule games the way they're scheduling them. And the funniest aspect,
once a week?
I mean, I know, but it is fair because these kids aren't used to it. These teams are still, so they might be fucking it up in little ways. That might be something that takes a longer than you would think.
In terms of like travel logistics and stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just having guys that know how to take the trip better than other times. It's like the seniors don't even know what to do, you know?
Got you.
I do think that stuff does matter a little bit. Not a huge amount, but a little bit. And then there's a lot of Penn State grads in the Los Angeles area. So it's also pretty funny from the aspect that UCLA fans are so negative, they're probably not there. It's probably going to be a lot of Penn State fans there. Don't know what the ratio was at the end of this, but wow, what a show they got. Started as a blowout, then became just a really hilarious football event, and then ended in, I guess, the biggest upset of the season at this point. I don't really know that anything's going to top this one.
I feel like there was one earlier in the year, but I don't remember what it was.
Bama losing to Florida State, not as crazy because there's a lot of reasons for that.
No, and
First
yeah,
game of the week.
that's just people having member berries about Bama being the be all end all.
Yeah, and like there was both like it was just an overreaction, underreaction situation to some extent. Yeah, I don't know if we've had another upset that's been that big.
Arizona State over TCU. Oh, Illinois.
Not at all. Oh, the Illinois one, yeah, but again, that one doesn't count because I think no one would. I think most people would have picked against Illinois in that game.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So, yeah, I would say ultimately this is it. I'll let you start with the clip show if you want. We got it. It's after that Aggie bomb in our.
Yeah, I got you. Here's a blocked punt by Penn State.
First UCLA punt of the day. They scored on every possession for the most part. And they just got it away, and it's blocked. And a touchdown, Penn State. Will Carroll took a little too long.
I think showing the hope and the joy and the opportunity there is actually a perfect place to start.
And it's funny because, he says they scored on every drive so far.
Because I mean,
UCLA. He's talking about UCLA.
Yeah, a competent football team would have still won this game. Would have been like, hey, shit's not going our way. Let's get out of here with a win.
I actually don't know the context of this, but here's a Penn State player doing the. I know that, but not why this player is doing this in this game.
Let's see what Dinkins does. A little push into the security staff or into our camera, right through our camera guys.
That might have been right after
Kamehameha.
I think it was a defensive player.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on there, but it was cool. It looks cool. Makes for a good highlight. One of those where you get in trouble and then the league just posts it as like, check out these cool celebrations. And then the last one, this is pretty much how the game ended.
And he's going to do what Gary said, as much time as possible. Waiting, out the back of the end zone.
Well, Penn State had no one rushing the punter. They did not come after the punter. They gave him an extra, I'd say, 5 seconds on the play. They did not anticipate this. Watch this. Nobody rushes. And they're just standing there.
So he got to take 8 seconds before he just backpedals out of the end zone.
Not anticipated. Penn State did not anticipate that safety call from UCLA.
Oh, James Franklin.
That's one that I don't know that I blame. I don't know. That's a weird one to think. That's like, how often you're in a situation where that could even happen. I'm not upset that's not on the top of your mind at that point in the game. There's so many other problems with that game.
Yeah, and actually, it's funny that there was another opportunity in this game because my little video clip, which I believe we can just talk over,
nice, yeah.
Starts off with, this is the game, 7-0.
Yeah, that's a really bold decision, the surprise onside kick.
I mean,
I get why UCLA does it, but
0-4 interim coach.
Yeah.
Here is how the game really ends to me. This is the opportunity given. With 40, they basically are at the goal line this long.
God damn it. James Franklin's burning in the background, so good.
This is Rick Neuheisel's son, their offensive coordinator.
That doesn't look like a real human being.
He looks just like his goddamn dad. And there's Rick Neuheisel, old as goddamn shit, celebrating. And here's a security guard trying to do his job. Trying to chase.
Is he trying to stop them?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think he was. And then the dad fucked up, but I think he felt bad and stopped. That's kind of the read I got. Yeah.
He's probably like, look, I got to put on film that I'm doing my job. I'll let you go. Just do it off camera.
So that was a good one. UCLA upset of the week. No other top 10 team lost this week, as far as I'm aware. Wait. Oh, I'm getting. Oh, okay. No, there was a problem this week. The Texas Longhorn. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. We have to bury James Franklin more. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Just pause it 2 seconds. The UCLA interim head coach has the same career wins over a top 10 Big Ten
okay.
as James Franklin. That's a pretty good one, though. You gotta.
It's funny, yeah.
First top 10 loss for an 0 team in 40 years. like undefeated, or not. No, I'm sorry. To lose
Got it.
to an
Yeah. Winless team.
winless.
Winless.
And then UCLA 1-4 with a top 10 W with 0 lead changes on the season. So that's just a funny little stat for early season.
That's a good one. That's one you get with I feel like the Broncos every couple of years. They're like, it's like they're 6-3 and they've never led in the game.
For real.
It's a lot of last minute field goals.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I think the Texas Longhorns, getting back to the cap, you can get there. Oof. I don't think it's that bad for Texas, but it's not anywhere near the expectations, and I think that's fair. So to start with preseason number 1, Texas is often overrated.
Well, I would even say, just like from my own perspective, that I thought that was crazy, but I would still have expected to do better in this game.
I think we didn't know anything about anything. In retrospect, I do think that probably didn't make a lot of sense for the Hurricanes to not be number 1 going into the season. They got the quarterback that was one of the best in college
Ohio State
football.
makes the most sense still to me, just because they won it.
But even if you want to penalize them for changing quarterbacks, which does happen, has happened plenty in the past, I'm cool with that. But
I don't know that Will Howard was considered like the reason any of that worked. So
I just think it was unfair to Arch for a lot of reasons, and I think it's also very telling to what the top 25 is about. Yeah. Why we have a preseason top 25.
Was Notre Dame 2 or was Penn State 2 to start the year?
Penn State was 2.
Okay.
Yeah, no, and Clemson was in the 6th seed. So
they're so bad at this.
What is happening is Texas at 1 gets a lot of clicks. It gets a lot of Texas clicks. It gets a lot of hate clicks. It gets a lot of Arch Manning clicks. Top 25 throughout the season continues to be in constant engagement. It's part of the entertainment product.
I mean, they have a whole show for it every week, at least when the playoff stuff starts.
It'll never be a perfect formula. But I do like that at least that waits long enough for us to have an actual idea.
Yeah. We've seen the teams play more than 0 times.
We have this many 5-0 teams to start. Like, there's a bunch of 5-0 teams still. And I don't know how many of them are even that good. Some of these might have 4 losses by the end of this season still. So I guess what I'm interested in the reality is 4 losses might be a playoff-worthy thing in this sport. And as we continue to move forward.
In the big conferences, yeah.
In the big conferences. So either way, Texas came in being way too overrated for entertainment purposes, similar to Dallas Cowboys, New York Yankees, blah, 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 blah. They were also, which I think is the second biggest sin, kept in the top 10 too long.
Yeah.
I do think they probably should have been bumped out of the top 10 with mediocre performances against subpar competition.
Yeah, whoever game 2 was, I don't even remember.
Sam Houston should have maybe given them a chance to get back into the top 10, but even still, that's kind of just maybe if other teams have won or lost. They were being bumped way too much, and I get Ohio State was a big loss, and it was just the one loss, and I get that. But it was not acknowledging, just like the preseason number 1, that Texas is replacing most of the D and offensive line. The receiving core didn't even have one of their star transfers for a while. A lot of this isn't excuses. It's just retooling a team. Texas isn't as deep as Georgia, as LSU, as Bama. Yet, maybe they will. That's the goal. That's what Sark has been striving for. He's failed to do it so far. I don't know if that's his fault. I don't know if it's just more time that you have to take to get Sark there. But you have to win in the trenches, and you have to turn out pros on both lines every season in the SEC to be that team. And it is just as fair as it is to say Arch didn't do his part in Ohio State and didn't do his part in some of the early games against worse teams. He did his part in large in this game. The stats are going to look poor. I agree with that. We're talking about a game that ends up being 29-21 in the final. Yeah. So it's a little bit of window dressing at the end of an ugly game that Georgia just dominates at the line of scrimmage. And again, Florida just dominates at the line of scrimmage.
Another school that would not be happy to find out you mixed up their names.
They'll be all right. They're when.
And I mean, your point is true that if you have those lines built up, then all of a sudden you can run the ball. Then all of a sudden his life is a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean,
so,
no one's talking about the fact that Texas is a
run the ball.
completely inept running team, and
It's
this is
bad.
almost 2 years in a row that they're below par. When there's some, even C.J. Baxter was injured last year. What's the excuse this year? Why are there this many talented backs? One of them's not even what was it? Big number 9. He was a big part of last year. I don't think he's even playing much this season. The running game is nowhere to be found. And at best right now, Arch Manning is a play-action quarterback. He's a game manager. And he's a fun running threat. He's got a hell of a cannon. But he's not ready to just be lock and load, quick fire, quick decision.
Running the entire offense without any help, yeah.
I mean, it's just true. And if Texas can't move the ball at the line of scrimmage, they could have a very bad season on the horizon. But I don't necessarily think it, there's still a lot of talented kids on this roster. Like, Texas isn't hurting for talent. They're just young, and it's not been a smooth process. Now, pro Florida, you're also getting healthy on offense. This is the first week your quarterback's, like, prepared all week for, like, almost a year, like, dating into last season. You also get this really talented 5-star wide receiver who, Texas DBs and tackling on the sideline. Is there any worse combination?
Also, isn't Texas coming off a bye week here?
Texas, both of them coming off bye weeks.
Okay.
So you do have a lot of positive going for Florida. Florida lost an unfortunate game to South Florida with a bunch of turnovers, got buried in the other 2 games against better opponents. They're 3 losses, but they're not a bad team. They're incredibly loaded on the defensive side of the football. And now with this offensive talent coming together, they could make a real run at this. And maybe 3 losses is all they have for a while. But we'll see. This play was the highlight for me. This kid, Dallas Wilson, is fucking for real. I hate it had to be us.
God damn it.
But
doesn't help when the cornerback just completely falls down in the middle of the play.
And
but
then I think
that's the tackling that I feel like I've been seeing from Texas my entire life.
Yeah, there's a part of that. I also think it's Michael.
I don't even understand.
Right?
I don't understand it. It's like you guys were playing football before this in high school. You learned how to tackle somewhere.
My guy Tapp's got to be better too. The safeties in Texas reminding me of the safeties of the Cowboys right now, and that ain't a good thing.
I don't need a warm body out there.
I love
get away with it.
I love the story about the Austin kid that gets to play for Texas, but that was like David Ash era Texas. I need
and that's fine if they're on special teams or if they're in there against ULM.
I need 5-star fuckboys. So yeah, I think Texas last year peaked. They had everything going for them. They delivered for the most part, and Quinn Ewers in that offense, their inability to be better stunted them from a chance to compete for the title.
Yep.
But that was the best they could get. This year, you're rebuilding a little bit, and you're going to have to save face. I think the Texas Longhorns do save face, and I think that I find this Red River rivalry to be more interesting now because Texas gets bounced from the top 25. So, moving a little quicker here because of the Texas thing. Bama Vandy was a funny one. We already did the Diego Pavia thing. He did practice the victory formation. I put in the intro. He did end up doing it in the first half, to his credit, to end the first half. But unfortunately, this video, I think, shows you how fast Bama comes at you.
Unfortunately, there was a second half.
First quarter, halfway through the first quarter, big run. You're in Tuscaloosa. At least you've got some people puckering buttholes now, right? You got the attention. Now look at this. Time of possession on the clock. That's changed. That didn't go your way. Now it's big boy, rumbling, bumbling, stumbling.
Well, that's the guy who got the touchdown last week on the pass, on the screen.
Exactly. So, Kalen DeBoer continues to be entertaining, continues to be a talented and interesting offensive mind. And I love when we're using our first-round picks for evil. What do we have? We have Texas Tech. They win 35-11. Another ugly blowout for the Red Raiders. This used to be Raider Rash Minute. Big plays very often. Big plays all the time. Big play, big play, big play. But now that was it for the game. Otherwise, the Red Raiders really settled for a lot of field goals. Got the tortilla Red Raider Rash.
Yeah, that's great.
So Texas Tech, pretty interesting. Thought Houston could be a little bit more of a competition for them, but Cougs take their first L. Georgia handles Kentucky, nothing to really talk about there, 35-14. Cincinnati stuns the Big 12 by beating the unbeaten Ohio State Cyclones 38-30. I call it the CTE game of the week. I think you know why. First, we got a boom. That's a penalty, but no one called it. And then this one is just business. They do call a penalty, but this is business to me. I don't like the penalty. That's business.
That's a tough one.
That was business.
That is a tough one.
So yeah,
face to face, I get at least the instinct to pull the flag.
I mean, it's a talented guy. It's a fun team. You kind of gotta let them, like, they're in their moment. He didn't lead with the helmet. He just hit the
No, I would say that's a fine hit, but I don't think the rules do anymore.
Yeah, it's tough. But you were talking about the tackling earlier, and Michigan has basically won all their games similarly. 24-10 beating Wisconsin here. But this is the kind of tackling that we used to see every week in the prime of the Big 12. Now, I'm not talking about the Big 12 of the 2000s. I'm talking about the Big 12 of the 2010s. Art Briles and Robert Griffin affected the way that the Big 12 would play football forever, and it meant tackling was optional. Wisconsin Badgers got to clean that up. But, Michigan, I still know how good they're going to be overall, but not a fun team to have to play against. They're going to manhandle you, win in a really boring way. It's what they do. Notre Dame beats Boise State 28-7. When we get to the top 25, I'll maybe talk a little more Notre Dame. But
let me play you my one Michigan clip.
Oh, right. There was
a fan dressed as corn for some reason.
The maize. They're the maize and the blue, so I think that's what they do.
I don't know who Barry is, but that lady yelling "Wake up, Barry" is really funny.
She probably doesn't either. She probably just heard the name. But we like the intensity. Notre Dame beats Illinois. Do you got anything on Notre Dame and Illinois?
I think she was talking about Barry Sanders. Yeah, I have no idea. Oh, Zeke Berry, maybe?
Okay.
I don't know if he's still at Michigan. Yeah, he is. Okay, sorry, what game?
Notre Dame, Boise. We think we don't have anything from that one.
I don't believe I do.
Notre Dame handled business 28-7. Illinois hangs 40 on the Boilermakers, 43-27 final. Both those teams still handling
themselves. Am I right?
Well, yeah, a little bit of fine over there. Battle for the ACC, almost like we have for the battle of the Big 12. We have the Cavs and the Cards. Virginia pulls it out 30-27 at the end of it. Had a couple of plays here. I just put them all together. We have the Will Levis play of the week.
Oh, no.
Is up.
Oh, my God.
Didn't help. Miller Moss was really having a great season, and Louisville looked very interesting. Kid transfer from USC. But then this one, where it's a lot of trickeration. Like, that's not Chandler Morris handling the ball. I think that's a backup quarterback. I don't really know what was going on at this play, but
interesting.
That's the way the Cavs
play
in overtime. The Baylor Bears in the Kansas State Wildcats had, honestly, arguably one of the best games of the week.
Nice.
Hardly anyone watched because it was stuck on ESPN Plus. I noted this in our chat. It was they had 3 blowouts that they refused to change. They had 2 channels showing you Georgia, Kentucky. Never was going to be a game. Never was a game. And then they had they had a documentary.
SEC, right? So.
No, and I get that there's an SEC network and an ACC network, but it's still hilarious, right? And then you have ESPN News just playing a documentary.
On what?
It was just a 30 for 30. probably college football just to keep on point. Not good.
Pony Express, maybe.
So 35-34, Baylor wins this on a block field goal at the end. Actually, they got their field goal and it was blocked. What else did you get a clip from here?
Sure. Here's our second reporter being
good.
hit.
This to the goal, automatic first down. And you see right there, Torrey gets knocked over. That's our own Tori Petrie right there. I mean, of course, no one hurt. She bounces right back up on her feet. I love the tough.
She got laid out. She took the full brunt of that.
Damn.
And then a very impressive catch from a Baylor Bear.
Robertson. Trigg! Get out of here! No, he didn't! Yes, he did. I mean, Michael Trigg, show out! Go up! One-handed big fella, left hand. Hold off the defender. Secure the catch. Get that left foot in bounce. What?
Yeah.
So not a catch in the NFL, but
nope,
pretty dang close. He'll have some time to work on that toe tap. And he's a big dude. He's tall.
Not much though. He's a tight end. He might be tight end one. People are pretty excited about him so far.
Yeah,
that
was a really cool play.
Baylor Bears get the win. They needed it. Kansas State definitely looks like they're kind of out of the contention already with how this season started. Washington comes back and knocks the Terps their first loss, 24-20. That game was 20-3 in the third quarter. Terps really blew a chance to start this thing undefeated and get ranked. Scott Van Pelt is crying somewhere. They're still really fun though. Malik Cunningham still one of the best quarterbacks to watch in the game. BYU is 5-0 and they don't even have a real quarterback. This is Bear Brockmeyer.
I was gonna say, have they played a real game yet either?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's been the toughest schedule, but I'm still cracking up because I've shown you some bombs, you know what I mean? But look at this heave. I forget where Bear Brockmeyer was playing. I think he was a linebacker.
Dude, he didn't even really get his body into that. That is just upper body torque and throw.
I gotta remind you guys, they were originally supposed to have Jake Metzel. I forget what his last name is. He ends up having sex.
Oh, right.
Now he is the Tulane quarterback. As an emergency, they take Brockmeyer, who wins the starting job in camp. I believe was a linebacker on the depth chart initially. That's why he wears the, what was it again, 45, 43? What was the thing? 47? Yeah, 47.
Jesus, that might be 47, yeah. That's hilarious.
47.
Yeah, their schedule this year, Portland State, Stanford, Eastern Carolina, Colorado, West Virginia.
So now we'll actually find out who they are as they go, because the Big 12 isn't the best conference by any stretch, but there's some really fun teams.
No, it's going to be a lot more tough than anything they've seen so far. 69 points against Portland State. I don't care how bad Portland State is. 69 points is, you still have to make those plays. So
very nice.
Well, I just mean that proves there's some competency there. It's possible.
Sure. Dabo's boys got right against the Tar Heels. All I need to really this one ends 38-10. So Dabo did have some mercy on Billy, but let me just have, as much as the play is fun to watch, and maybe Clay Kubnick can revive his draft stock. Just look at the score at the time.
21-3 in the first. It is now going to be 28-3 if that kick is made afterwards to end the first quarter.
And like I said, it finished 38-10. So if you watched that game the whole way, after that, you saw two more tutties, and that was it.
Yeah, the Belichick North Carolina experiment. Maybe he's got some long-term plans to where he can be like, you guys all doubted me, but it's not starting great.
The Hulu doc got canceled. Someone else was able to
He put out that they weren't going to celebrate Drake May.
Right. They're doing the Drake May thing. And then finally, the funniest one, I think the most telling one, the Associated Press, Getty Images, a very popular thing, especially if you're in the industry and you have access to just download whatever because your company pays for it.
Probably the most seen watermark on Google Images.
Yeah, probably. They had a notable amount of Jordan Hudson photos on their game clip. I think someone on Reddit did the math, where it was like 26 out of some 40, 80 something, I don't know. 26 of them she was a part of, which I can understand she has a picture there. Like, I do get that she would have pictures on this.
She's on the sideline, so.
26 of, and I didn't count all 26. Does this mean she's just in the shot? Is the shot of her? I don't know. But that is
it's just to say that she's very visible on the sideline, yeah.
Very, very funny situation there.
Yeah,
Not a good one.
Trying to see if I can find that Reddit post, but
I think I saw it from the CFB Reddit Twitter account. Yeah, Arizona ripped up what's left of the Pokes. While you're looking on that, here's a little eye candy for the folks at home. Not a great edit of it. You're going to see my guy Johnny Manziel himself out of the situation.
Completely out of the frame because we can't look at things like it's on an actual screen.
Yeah. And then, boom, you got a tutty. Oklahoma State.
That is a college touchdown for sure.
Yeah, Oklahoma State continues to lose
Of course,
games.
if you don't have a Reddit account, you can't look at things in any kind of chronological order.
That might be why I need to sign into a Reddit account. Maybe I'll enjoy Reddit again if I didn't realize they're bogging me down by punishing me for not signing in. The Nebraska Cornhuskers are 4-1. Larry the Cable Guy is somewhere thrilled. His Huskers are back on top. Well, they're back winning more games than losing. You had a couple things here. Okay, not one of the ones I was. This is Nebraska.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Sparty. They win against Sparty 38-27, so not necessarily a beating. But we're happy for the Huskers fans. And did they find a new way to game the kickoff?
You mean, kicking it to the mid-level?
I'm just saying, if you kind of do a weird squib and then you let it up to two guys who aren't expecting it, if you can do that accurate, like, I don't know.
It's probably a better decision than actually kicking it to the returner, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It could be interesting. You give up some yards whenever they do figure it out, but like if your guy's super accurate and you don't just kick to the same place every time.
Yeah, I think you got to look at the film and see what those guys do on every kickoff and decide if you think you can get it pulled over on those specific players.
I think it's fun. I think if you can ever find a way to game, especially football, a way to make a player have to think harder than they usually do, you are going to get a lot of success, especially at the college level. You had a couple other ones.
So Nebraska tries a fake punt here.
At an 83-yarder against Youngstown State earlier this year. Uh-oh, it's a fake. Look out.
He didn't get it.
No, he didn't. He's short of it by a yard.
Direct snap to the guy on the left. I don't even know what position you call that.
The basic fake on the video games.
I always do the pass. I never do a run on a punt fake.
Yeah,
I'm too afraid.
One. It's pretty. It doesn't. Yeah, the game usually doesn't reward you.
And then
usually life doesn't either.
A better play for Nebraska, the rare one-shoe touchdown.
I think he's been the most consistent player that Nebraska's had today on offense. A double screen to Hunter. Now Isaiah. All day Zaya. Long. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Big time.
Loses his shoe in the backfield and keeps going.
And that's great, man. Nebraska, this was a good win. I forgot Sparty was still just one loss this far. I mean, again, they're rebuilding their program, but Sparty is a program that we expect to compete and win games.
Just like UCLA, I'm like, but they're a basketball school.
But I think Sparty's
that might just be the way my brain views them. I don't know. It's just how it surprises me if I see them having a decent football record.
I don't know. Sparty is always going to have a large association with college basketball. It's the school of Magic Johnson. It's the school that Tom Izzo has also really molded in his image. So it doesn't really matter if you're an NBA fan or if you're a college fan, you kind of have the best of both worlds with that tradition and program. But yeah, interesting game there. Good for the Huskers and Matt Rule. Year 3 Matt Rule, living up to the hype so far. UNLV, not a snow game in Wyoming, a sleet game, a hail game, if you will.
Yeah, it confused me watching some of these clips, so I figured out what was going on.
31-17. This is the play I added. I just really added this one because it gives you an idea of how much of a snow game it looked like.
No, for sure. Yeah, it looks wild.
But yeah, that's just fucking hail, dude. So that doesn't seem fun.
No.
You had some other stuff?
Yeah, there's 2 blocked punts, both by UNLV. Here's the first.
Critical in this game, and not a great start for Wyoming's offense, even getting the ball off to the
And the punt is blocked. Watch out. UNLV on the recovery. It's going to be a touchdown for the Rebels. UNLV is in.
And if you're not from somewhere that regularly gets hail, I know Texans, we don't get the snow, but we get hail. That is crazy.
I wonder how many people from UNLV actually are from Nevada, but...
No, but just anyone watching that.
Yeah, fair.
What the fuck is hail? Is this hail? And it's like, dude, hail is crazy. I don't know if Dallas has ever gotten that version of hail too much.
Where it actually, like...
Or I don't know, maybe you could argue that's all the snow we ever get is just hail. Accumulation.
I know that it's snowed at least 3 times in my life up here.
Yeah, real snow, real powder, where it actually feels mildly powdery. But yeah,
here's blocked punt number 2.
Here comes some pressure. They got it again. Block punt. Touchdown. Jalen Bradley picks it up and scores it. McGee blocks it. And Bradley, who blocked one earlier, has the touchdown. A second block punt touchdown of the game for UNLV. Adam, you called it. And the Rebels cash in again.
Wyoming's got to make an adjustment here at some point, coming right off the edge, free for the block kick. Good execution, getting the hands on it, and Jalen Bradley heads up, trouting into the end zone, man.
9-7 just sticking his arm out a little bit after the guy's already passed him, continuing to look forward. Like, I don't know what he thinks is going to go on there.
I mean, at this point, I don't know how much they were trying to be out there for some of that. Interesting game, interesting team. Shout out to Dan Mullen, undefeated Rebs. This is a program we were kind of interested in. They stumbled in. Remember, they were the ones who had the NIL discrepancy with the quarterback that ended up dipping. And, now Dan Mullen's got this thing going, and I don't know if Florida's going to save themselves, but he did sort of get a weird he got a weird end of the stick at Florida after all that success at Mississippi State. I'm glad to see Dan Mullen back coaching, and I do think he's a good, interesting coach that should have a job. And I'm glad UNLV is an opportunity that he can both help his reputation out and make UNLV a more interesting school. So I do kind of like it. Like, they played at Allegiant Stadium. They're the running Rebels. It's a Vegas market. Like, I don't know. It would be nice if they could be useful. Swaggerless Jack. Have you met him? Do you know him?
I'm not familiar with that name.
You added a clip of him. This is Joe Manjack. He transferred up from Houston, I believe, to TCU. They call him Swaggerless because he chooses not to wear any accessories. He's just a custom-built player.
Great diagnosis right there by Josh Hoover. Amazing job making the extra effort play.
Which is great.
No gloves.
Nothing at all. I mean, nothing at all. So which is
well,
great.
I wouldn't even consider gloves to be. That's like a part of playing, not like an accessory to like.
Yeah, I mean, true too. But like, I think the gloves is funny because you could just makes the argument that he likes the physical feel. But for no swag at all, it is funny because it makes him look more like a walk-on. Which is also funny because it makes us really think about how much our 5-star fuckboys are also very, like, divas, right? I mean, we once had the head coach of, what was it, Charlotte? It was, what was they have that really funny one. We got a bunch of kitty cats. Remember, we got kitty cats. We need some dogs.
I don't remember that, but.
Kitty cats. Meow. It's like this old hillbilly white dude is bitching about his players, talking about, does my headband look good? Are my arm straps on time? We some dogs. Yeah, go look that one up. You get a lot of people who love Mike Gundy's I'm a Man, I'm 40, but the We're Some Dogs would have been in our intro, but it's hard for me to do 2 sound bites with the fucking running theme sound bites. So it's just
okay, sorry.
one.
Finally got this information. 57 photos by Getty Images of the Clemson-UNC game, and 23 are of Jordan Hudson.
Fucking nasty. But, I mean, she's
It's
marketing
almost
herself.
50%.
She's hitting a lick. And then my final clip to share with the classroom today is a little bit of action. Okay.
Ahead of this second.
Oh, and apparently I did not mute it. My fault.
You're
Comes down to this. The two-point conversion for the win. Kim lost it. Buffalo celebrates. It'll be a happy homecoming tonight.
Is that Brett Favre coaching Eastern Michigan?
No. I will say.
I love that it's like 30 seconds of, because you got the sound off the first clip, and then this.
I was wondering the whole time what I did. So what happened is I downloaded that. I finished it correctly the first time, deleted the file somehow, then went to quickly get it back because it was the last thing I did, but didn't realize that button hadn't been clicked before I hit export.
Right. Yeah, no, you're fine. That was just funny.
Classic.
I was like, it's weird because there's no sound in the video, and I was like, I bet something's coming.
Yeah. So yeah. Eastern Michigan, hell of a way to lose a football game. You have some other fun, interesting teams from around the nation. Some of them are actually good to talk about, too.
Here, we'll stick with that Eastern Michigan one just to see it again. I think here we've got what I titled Eastern Michigan University Butterfingers.
It all comes down to this. The two-point conversion for the win. Kim lost it. Buffalo.
I knew you had it also. I just wanted to watch it again.
It's also very, very important. Yeah, and it's not a clip of other shit. It's also very important to realize that would have also probably been both behind the running back, and the running back, had it gotten to him, immediately met by two guys.
I don't have it here. I don't know if you saw the clip from last night's NFL game where Mahomes ends up doing a full spin of two fake handoffs before a real handoff. Executed awesomely. It looked really cool, but yeah, that was what we just saw was like the exact opposite. So next we'll go to Appalachian State, where you're going to see a big hit that leads to an interception.
It's a shotgun snap. Got a little bit more time. Off his back foot he throws, and that ball is bounced around and taken.
And that would seal the game for App State.
Malik Murphy's Oregon State.
Yeah, being in the Pac-2 or whatever they're in, not going so well for anybody.
Two-pack.
The two-pack. Here's a trick play from Cal Polytechnical.
Not just Slow County.
No, we've been to Pickles and other places.
A little whoopsie-doo. Briscoe to Kelly for 6.
Honestly, don't mind that I left sound on all of these just to hear that guy go, a little whoopsie-doo.
You gotta keep people entertained with the small times.
So yeah, that was a pretty cool little reverse into a wide receiver pass. Next, we'll head over to Memphis. This is
Memphis now.
2 clips of the same play.
Ahead of this 2nd and 4. Free play for Memphis. They throw to the end zone. It's caught! One-handed grab! Spectacular catch!
And from another angle.
Damn.
I can't imagine the pure elation it feels to catch a ball like that.
No, I mean, yeah, when he stood there looking like that, I think that was him.
It's like perfect. Like this is something that they would have scripted to be in the beginning of a video game, like the intro video.
Yeah.
Next, we'll move to the further east to see Georgetown Hail Mary.
Thomas steps up. He'll throw it deep, looking for a man. There's Kibble. He makes the catch, and the Lions will win it at the buzzer. Oh, my goodness, Chip.
You think that announcer was hyped? He fucking hotted that mic out a few times. We'll skip over EMU. We watched that one. Off to Montana to see a double pass.
Wortham will loop in motion behind the backfield. Ayat will throw to Wortham. That's a lateral. He has a chance to throw it. He's got a man. Touchdown. Gale. And the
Not a bad little pass. I think he looked up and was surprised that guy was so wide open in the end zone that it took him a second to actually throw the ball.
In respect to the guy spinning out of the cheap shot at the end.
Yeah. I don't know where Lamar is, but this is Lamar.
That's Texas, right?
That's a high school team that's good in Texas, but I don't know about the college.
You're right.
Another nice high tight spiral, turns it over. Fusilier takes
There
it
it
at the
is.
11, still
Got it,
dancing.
Dan.
Got some room,
He got
got a
it.
seam.
Got
30, 40, 50, and off to the races. Fusilier 20, 10, into the end zone. Wow, goes.
That's Beaumont, Texas.
Oh, nice. I had no idea. Nice little punt return there. Another school, no idea where it is. Austin P.
Well, I know they're a small school.
Yeah, but here's an attempted point after that Austin P is going to do something cool with.
They run it to perfection. And it's blocked. The PAT. It's going to be scooped up right on the bounce. Ready to take it the distance if he can stretch it out. And how about this block kick by Austin P on the PAT? They come up big with it.
And that is rural Tennessee.
Checks out. 2 points for Austin P. And now here we've got two separate plays from Montana State to wrap us up.
Naturally.
Another punt return here. I bet you can guess what happens.
Halfway through the second quarter. Another booming punt, but this one returnable. Taco Dowler from the 10. Dowler's got space. He's going to turn on the Jets. Follows more blockers to the outside. Dowler! A race for the pylon. Still on his feet. And it's a race. He's going to win. He'll get the...
Pretty wild.
Bada boom.
Fast man. What you got?
Huh? No, nothing else. No. I'm sorry. I had to check into a flight.
I got you. I thought the bada boom was some kind of news.
Oh, God. No, not yet.
And our last clip of the week, also from Montana State, a nice hurdle.
To me, I know we're a long way away. It looked like a little handsy on the grip.
Oh, Julius Davis hurls a man into the end zone. Flashbacks of Sac State from 2 seasons ago as he leaps defenders with a single bound.
The juice, and why wouldn't there be another piece of laundry that is the color yellow, Ben? We got a flag on the play. What a play by him, though. My goodness. An angry man with an angry run. That was even a little finesse run here at the end.
Fuck yeah, right? That's good. Good jerseys, too. I like that combo.
That was a real good hurdle. Now we'll wrap up what is ostensibly Pat's picks. Ostensibly Pat's picks this week.
And for the most part, the show. Top 25. That's kind of what I talk about, and then we'll give you the preview. Give you the what to watch. Top 25 is mostly interesting. Top 7 schools all undefeated. Bama, 1 loss ahead of Texas Tech, Georgia Tech, Missouri, and Memphis, who are all undefeated. I'm cool with that. I think Tech still needs to prove to me. I think they're going to, because by default, I think they're already pretty much better than most of the conference. Georgia Tech, I don't know how good they are ultimately. And Mizzou, we'll find out this week, especially. I have a problem with Notre Dame at 16 and being so callous to Texas and Penn State to some extent, because I think, again, this is a product of a really inconsistent way of ranking. I also don't really understand why Arizona State's still stuck at 21. Even Virginia at 19. Has Virginia won that impressively to be 19 compared to Memphis being undefeated? I understand the schedule. I just think some of this is just inconsistent. Michigan still at 15 feels inconsistent. Like, you wouldn't trust Michigan right now over LSU or Tennessee? I think I might.
Yeah, there's like I mentioned earlier, outside of, I'll give you through Oregon, I think any of those other teams 4 through 25 could all beat each other any given week.
Yeah, I mean, the top 3, we know what they are. We know the Bucks can win. They've got a new quarterback. They've got some youth. Doesn't matter. Hurricanes might be perfectly timed and built in all the ways you need to. Oregon, locked and loaded, may have the best quarterback they'll ever have. Does it pay off? Everyone after that, the Rebels, we like Ole Miss. We think Lane Kiffin's good, but me thinks Lane Kiffin could be on to greener pastures potentially after this season, and this is his real grand finale in a way at Ole Miss. I might be wrong, but I do think that's possible. Texas A&M fighting Aggies, we talked about that. Hoosiers, I think they're pretty good. I still have doubts when it talks about top weight class, similar to the Aggies. Different reasons, but similar. Yeah, for everything else, I just don't know a lot about these teams. I know there's a lot of mediocre quarterback play. I think USF has been a fun story, but them being ranked, I don't know. Well, obviously, they have a big game that means a lot to us here. But I still know that matters. Who's the best American Conference team? I'd like to think that matters for the top 25. I don't know that this year is a little.
I think if whoever between Navy, Memphis, or North Texas ends up undefeated, that'll mean something. They might get their doors blown off, but you never know.
Yeah.
What are there, like 8, 9 SEC teams in the top 25 right now? They're all about to start cannibalizing each other a little bit too, so that'll clear some space up. I was just looking at Virginia. I guess because they beat Florida State, they're in the top 25. They lost to NC State, which seems pretty bad to me, but
no, NC State's fine. ACC is very cannibalistic right now, just like the Big 12 is. It's going to take us a second to understand who's actually good and who's not.
That's fair.
A lot of these teams are very similar playing fields. Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I think Florida State being 25 is even a little disrespectful to a pretty good program right now, and one that's rehabilitated itself quickly. So, like I said, I don't really care. Texas, we should say, the first team to fall off preseason number 1 as fast as they have since 2012 USC. Took 12 weeks to do that. There is another one if you go way back in history that did it in like 3 weeks. But yeah, so we kind of beat that horse already. I do think, again, Penn State and Texas not being ranked is honestly, again, in my opinion, to make you talk about the top 25.
Yeah, I mean, and at this point, it doesn't mean anything. So there's just so much football left, anyways. So,
and there's only 1 2-loss team on the top 25. I think honestly, Penn State, it was a fair argument to have been 25. I think Florida State is fine, but beating Alabama is this big a deal at this point. I guess technically, it's better than what Penn State and Texas have done. So, no perfect answers, but I do think there was a little bit of.
How many votes did y'all get this week? How many votes did the Mean Green get this week?
Oh, I don't even know. I know they're close.
Let's see if I can't just pull that up really fast. I try. Also, oh god, stupid pop-ups. Also receiving votes. We've got. So Cincinnati came in at 129, Texas 111. North Texas is going to be down at 16. 2 votes more than TCU. So that's that.
Yeah, and TCU is also a program where I was a little high on this season, but now that we're seeing again the Big 12 ACC shuffle, I don't think I feel very great about TCU. I think they're probably on the top end without a question mark, but competing for the Big 12 championship game or even representing the conference doesn't feel very likely to me. And I do think that the Big 12 and the ACC, to some extent, need to brace themselves for the reality that only one of these conferences is going to get multiple teams in. I think that might be the reality. But we'll see how it shakes out. This week it's going to be interesting. I'm probably going to be playing a hell of a lot of catch up. I believe it or not, my wedding is technically during part of Texas OU, so love over the dedication.
I mean, at least you didn't schedule it in the middle of South Florida at North Texas.
Right, no. Well, I definitely still have Friday stuff to do, so won't be watching any college football this weekend for sure. But
biggest game in program history. Not really, but it's up there.
And I am sad for that. I wish, because if we were here, I would probably go. But obviously, bigger fish to fry for sure for me this week. Wednesday, Thursday, technically, you do have football games. Tulsa Tulane is a solid maybe on Thursday. Friday, you have you. I'm saying if you're really a junkie, Tulsa Tulane is a solid. Tulsa Tulane solid.
What is the NFL even putting out that night? Oh God, Eagles Giants. I'm not watching that either. So. I'm watching hockey. I'm an idiot.
Yeah. You got hockey. You got
Stars game 1
basketball.
Thursday night.
You got a little baseball. So Friday is obviously a big game for us locally. I don't know how much the world's going to care, but USF is 24. They're coming into Denton to play the Mean Green, who are undefeated. I feel really good about this team. I feel really confident about what Eric Morris is going to do with this season. Beyond that, I don't know. We have an AD who seems really excited about this program, like I was talking about last week. I do think North Texas is trying to proposition themselves to be in a bigger conference, a more impactful conference, should another realignment happen.
Maybe. I was going to say maybe, but like...
it's always going to change. But
the American's not a bad conference to be in.
Right, but what happens if the Big 12 completely folds because they've just not... what if...
Yeah.
Because I do think if the Big 10 or even the ACC, if one of these conferences was... Because the SEC doesn't have this problem. The SEC took on Southern schools. They didn't really create a problem they have to deal with, unless they end up adding like Texas Tech or TCU or really getting crazy with it, right? They don't have to go and make a decision. But Big Ten is going to be faced with the reality of a very inconvenient scheduling that may be negative on recruiting, maybe not for all schools, but for the majority of them, and then votes can change, right? So I do think that there's a possibility, and that's probably what some of these lower conferences are thinking. Can the American poach Baylor in Kansas State from the Big 12 if Colorado and Arizona State were to go back to some whatever the new conglomerate is for the Western portion? I do think that those things are possible. And if not, does UNT just step into Big 12, the Big 12 or whatever version that is, and then you're playing with Baylor, Kansas, Texas Tech, potentially still TCU. I do think Texas Tech will eventually try to lobby for the SEC. I think you should go ahead and put that on wax right now. Seriously though, why wouldn't they? They have that confidence and that cockiness. They're going to run into a similar problem that Texas and Oklahoma did with recruiting. So don't be surprised if Texas Tech starts to try to have those conversations by the end of the decade, especially if this money really pays out. But anyway, this is a huge one for UNT. I just want them to get it. I think USF is just a little overrated, but I also don't necessarily think UNT is the most explosive, interesting 5-0 either. I think they've played up to their competition to some extent. There was a blowout against Washington State that really came at the hand of a lot of turnovers from Washington State. So I don't know how sold I am on UNT and the undefeated dream and the playoff, but this is a huge win. This is a big game for the program, and getting it would be massive.
I mean, yeah, and just in terms of this season, you get that one, then obviously there's, every game you could lose, but if you're looking at what the bigger hurdles are, it's this one and Navy, and then it's a conference title game.
And Tulane probably, right? Is Tulane on schedule?
No.
Tulane's going to be, even if they're on a down year, just like I was describing about Texas, this is still going to be Tulane. They know what they're doing. They got talent. If they're going to have a bad season, it might be 4 or 5 losses. It ain't going to be crazy.
No Tulane this year, no.
No Tulane, so then that might be the conference.
South Florida, San Antonio, Charlotte, Navy, Alabama, Birmingham, Rice, Temple.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that is a pretty favorable group of teams to play. But again, that just means that you're probably playing Tulane in that final, or a rematch of one of the teams that's giving you a little trouble. So we will see.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's the Friday night game. Again, I don't know how much the nation's going to care, but we'll be there for it to some extent. Morning Saturday, you got Ohio State going into Champaign, Illinois for the Illini. Illini were quite banged up when they got throttled by Indiana, so I don't think they'll pull off the upset at home.
That would really throw a wrench into some things.
Yeah, but I do think the Illini get a lot of respect back by probably keeping this one closer and giving the Bucks their first real test since Texas. Not because of competition. I mean, the Bucks have just been killing people. Bama, Mizzou, 8 versus 14 will also be in the morning. Mizzou is undefeated. Bama has 1 loss. Again, if Mizzou is real and deserves to be top 10, they will be by next week. That's how I look at it. Bama has played really well, has had an unfortunate loss to start the season, but if you look at the overall picture of Bama, they deserve to be 8, and they're looking real fucking good. So Bama also needs to go into Missouri, beat Bama, and then we're really thinking DeBoer's got it the way it needs to be. And then Pitt at Florida State. I'm putting this one on everyone's radar because I think Pitt is not a perfect team, but they're one of that mediocre to above average group in the ACC. Florida State, we're still trying to prove. We're still trying to say, what is Florida State? Are they potentially a second ACC team in the playoff, or are they just sort of back from a really bad season? In the afternoon slate, you're going to have plenty of options. OU Texas for the first time in a while, I believe, this late in the day. 2:30 kickoff.
Yeah, it's pretty much always 11, right?
Yeah, we talked about Mateer. Mateer will be I think Mateer probably plays if we're already hearing all this bullshit.
Maybe, yeah.
I think they feel confident to where they can call plays for him to get the ball out of his hands quickly. But I think
it all depends. He could wake up that morning and it hurts again, so you just don't.
And I do think a bit of this is a reaction to, had Texas beaten Florida, they're still overranked. They're still the same squad. I think there was a way to win against Florida, even with the game going how it went. So I think you recognize Texas is still a very talented, competent program. And if you're OU, you're a little either way with Mateer or not. You're like, damn, y'all really had to go and fucking unrank them. You had to motivate what's usually a very difficult to motivate team.
I think the thing with this game is like everyone knows going in that both these defenses are pretty good and both these offenses are not, which means it'll probably be like 47-40.
And it's an interesting one usually we know this game is a toss-up unless one of these teams is clearly like last 2 years, I think last year especially, OU has been dead to rights coming into the game. So there wasn't much of a competition. It was just Texas fuck it up. This one doesn't have as much does OU fuck it up in it.
Once a decade, you get your Charlie Strong game, but otherwise it's usually...
No, and I do think this is a very big one for Oklahoma because Brent Venables needs to get this one as much as he needs to continue this season on a good pace. But Texas, and I think Sark really, the repercussions of losing this game, especially if you were to be manhandled by OU, even if a big picture isn't that big of a deal, optically this is tough because, again, it was about can these two teams transition to the defense and the trench play that is a necessary part of the SEC. And Texas did it a little bit, but Oklahoma, after a pretty tough season, went and paid a lot of money, went and got froggy, and it's interesting to see if it paid off.
You could lose this game. It would be a lot easier for you to lose this game had you not already lost 2 before it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now it'll just be thrown on.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think that Texas is out of it, but I do feel like I'm leaning more towards Texas as the annoying good team this year, but they're not making the playoff. Is kind of where I feel Texas is like they're probably still going to win 8-9 games. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team.
3 losses is going to be tough. I think if they win out from here, they're going to be in, but they're going to have to win out from here. So.
It's a tough schedule. Like they play a tough schedule. I think A&M at home is as favorable as it gets on that whole thing. I mean, there's like Kentucky and shit, but you got Georgia, you got to play some teams. So Indiana, Oregon will also be happening in the morning. Again, both of those programs can show us something. Dante Moore, if he can get a big win over Indiana, that'll do a lot to kind of help us feel good about Oregon. And then Indiana beating Oregon obviously would put them in a much more interesting
pretty crazy.
So they would basically just take the 3 position at that point, I'm sure. Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech. This is Virginia Tech. We made fun of them. They fired the coach, won a game after that. Not an interesting group. Still probably below par in the ACC, but they're playing Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's undefeated. We're interested to see if Georgia Tech kind of continues this momentum. They've won some ugly games, kind of an ugly undefeated group. And then NC State will be playing at Notre Dame, 16 Notre Dame at this time. You talked about NC State. Again, this is one of those average to above average ACC teams. I still am highly suspect of Notre Dame. Notre Dame, do you handle business? Make me feel better about you. Nebraska, Maryland is unranked versus unranked at this moment, but I think there's a good chance that whoever wins this will go ahead and be ranked. They're both one-loss Big Ten teams, both being underappreciated and undervalued a little bit comparatively also in the one-loss, two-loss thing. Almost makes you feel like Nebraska should have been 25, not Florida State, if you're really justifiable on all this shit. But again, the Alabama win. In the evening, we get a lot of fun games. Florida will go into College Station. I think this is the ultimate test for the Aggies. I almost feel very confident that they will lose this game. I think seriously, I think Florida is a very, very unfortunate team, and I think Mississippi State wasn't enough of a lesson. I think that game wearing them out, getting those late touchdowns did sort of help Texas A&M brush off some of these issues. But again, if they lose to Florida, it's not the end of the season at all. This is loss number 1 on the season. Last year, you opened it to losing to Notre Dame. That fucked you. This year, I think Florida's better than we expect. Their offense is incredible if it's consistent and healthy, and their defense is likely one of the top 5 in the country. So, if not top 10 at least. So, I think Florida still has a lot to say about this season.
Yeah, Florida's interesting. They've got pretty much all relatively close games except for the loss to Miami. So,
yeah, no, I mean they are a good team. Miami just is fucking awesome. Kansas at Tech. Tech isn't going to get a lot of great competition throughout the rest of their run. Kansas will probably be as good as you get. So you want to see the Texas Tech Red Raiders prove their mettle. That's another good one. It'll be at home, though. Tortilla Factory's tough, Kansas. Georgia's going to go into Auburn. This probably is more about us just double-checking that Georgia's competent. Not a lot of positivity with Auburn, even if it being in Auburn. But I do think there's also some questions on Georgia's legitimacy this season. So go thump Auburn, then we feel better. 15th ranked Michigan plays unranked USC. USC probably should be ranked and undefeated.
Classic rivalry.
Right. I mean, at least this one's 2 big-time schools and programs, so at least you can market it well. But USC, it's interesting. Actually, on my video game, I was playing Lincoln Riley left USC to go back to Oklahoma. I cracked up. Because I was like, honestly,
something that would only happen in a video game.
But it kind of made me think. Like, this USC experiment is kind of going in a lot of similar ways, and I don't know how long the leash is for him and this. Like, at this point, do you think he doesn't just say fuck it and go to the SEC if somebody offers him?
I just mean the idea of OU actually bringing the OU AD actually bringing him back and dealing with the fans.
That's true.
That's yeah.
But I mean, from his decision,
it's like an on paper move. It would make sense, but not a in real life one.
I love the move, and I love the hire for USC, and I thought it was going to be a slam dunk, but they are behind schedule, I would say. This season, still having such a porous defense, that's really concerning.
It might be tough to recruit California kids and be like, oh, you want to go play football in the Northeast in the fall?
It might be. I think there's also just a level to where his resume is quarterbacks, and he's great at that, but, maybe the rest of the players aren't quite as interested. Scar at LSU. This is going to be fun for the NFL fans. Lenoris Sellers gets to play in the hardest place to play in America at night. So I don't expect South Carolina to win this game, but his performance, and if they do win, probably could go a long way into sealing him as the number 1 overall pick. LSU's offense, like we said, but their defense is pretty damn good. And again, there is no other venue in college football like Baton Rouge at night. It just isn't. I don't care A&M. I don't care Ohio State. I don't care. Michigan. I don't care. It's LSU by a country mile.
When they're good.
I think even when they're bad, like that is the worst place to have to go play a bad team.
What I should say is in the back half of a season that's already disappointing for them, it falls off. But it's not often. It just does happen.
Those Cajuns get fucking rowdy, bro, and they've gotten rowdy for some dog shit teams before. But I feel you. Like I said, I think Baton Rouge
just hits a lot harder when the team's good, I guess is what I'm saying.
It definitely does. And then Brigham Young plays Arizona. This is probably Brigham Young's first real test, undefeated, 18th ranked. Zona's one loss, I think, so one of the contenders.
I was looking at Tech's schedule, and BYU's the only one on the schedule coming the rest of the year that looks like it could be a...
And even by then, they could have already fallen off the rails.
Yeah, or it could be a really good end of the year test for one or both of these teams.
Because I kind of do like Arizona at home in this one. So, final, if you're really up late, Arizona State, Utah. Utah, we had high expectations for. They've not quite lived up to the hype, but Arizona State likes to win ugly games. So if you just steal an ugly game, you could get back into this whole thing in an interesting way. And that's how the cookie crumbled.
All right. Well, that'll wrap up college football. Did you want to do any talk about what's going on in the playoffs?
Well, in the WNBA, the Las Vegas Aces are about to win a championship. Maybe even as soon as tomorrow. So that's basically all you need to know. Asia Wilson's about to 4 MVPs, most all time. I don't even know how many championship rings compared to all time, but this is like 3 or 4 or 5 in the last half decade.
You think when they do the UFC fight on the White House lawn, it'll be they'll invite Collier and Kathy Engelbert to fight?
I mean, I think that if they invited either of those women, I think one would be so bummed that she had to turn it down because of the publicity, and the other would probably just send a middle finger emoji to your, or just not respond at all. Yeah, I think that. No, honestly, Kathy Engelberg would be so happy if Trump asked her to go do the White House. Nafisa Collier, probably not answering the phone on that one.
I don't even know
probably
if
not going to be
anything's...
able to do it.
Oh, God. 1 second. I can't believe I totally forgot my funny bit that I meant to do at the start of the show. I'll be right back.
Okay. We're here for bits. Bits in bits. Let's see if I can do any random college football musings while Patrick prepares. Let's see. Can I get some standings? Just standing and things. Whoa. What the fuck? What the fuck?
I forgot that if I leave when it's just us two, you don't have anyone to talk to.
No, it's okay. Just gonna run it.
So the big announcement happened today. I want to announce that we are officially sponsored by the very special LeBron James Hennessy. It's definitely not a bottle of anything else.
Did you print a sticker that quickly?
Yeah, I've got a label printer at my work. And I put it on a sticker. Just for this bit, LeBron James announced that he's partnering with Hennessy. Honestly, it was a good fake out because we all knew it wasn't going to be anything serious, but we all thought it was going to be Prime. And then he's like, nope, actually got my own thing cooking.
I had I think about 5% of me was curious as to if this was the first official announcement of the International Basketball League, but it did feel like that was a little too soon as well for all of the rumblings we've heard of that. So it's not surprising, we're just doing a little advertisement.
The Prime thing made the most sense since Amazon because they were setting it up as a decision, so it makes sense for the NBA to be like, we made our decision, we're taking our talents to Prime and all that.
What if he publicly decided to choose a side from the anniversary that took place, 3 years ago?
That would have been especially wild and maybe the most out of character thing anyone's ever done.
Where do you go? I like how it looks like you're censoring the bottle. Where do you think?
This is how Hennessy is normally shaped, right?
Which one would be more out of character for LeBron? Which team? Let's call it blue versus red in this blue versus green and red.
That's a tough one. He walks that line, you know.
I feel like
the pro corporate, pro social commentary. He's just kinda.
I think I lean blue, fairly heavy. Or no, that would be the in character one. I'm sorry.
I just do, yeah. I feel like I could see both. I could see both being pulled off in character. So.
I feel like it's tough.
But if there was one that he was ever more likely to pick, it'd be blue.
Because here's the evidence. The issue is the evidence that we have against him is that we know for a fact he would care about an American issue, social issue.
Okay, that's fair.
We have a lot of evidence to believe that he doesn't actually follow most of the world stuff, probably because he profits off of a lot of these places and is just better off not speaking on it, like he
also just
do in China.
I can't imagine what the second day of LeBron James looks like. I don't know how much free time he actually has to just be keeping up.
And that's fair to some extent, but you know, some of these times are on chronically online. It's like you do have time; you can decide.
It's a 3-hour massage, sitting in a hyperbaric chamber. Yeah.
So you could figure it out if you wanted to, but ultimately, he told Daryl Morey that he needed to look it up, that he needed to do more research.
Yeah, he did.
You know, and that kind of gave us an unfortunate side of LeBron, where it was either ignorance or corporate willingness to be ignorant. Or both, whatever. I don't care. I don't care. There were some mad people today. I don't think that we need to put him on the war crimes list just yet.
Mad about what? Hennessy?
It was just I think just the fake out, the it being a sellout move. But this is LeBron. He's a corporate.
That's the character.
Yeah. No, I mean this is definitely, and it's the start of the season. Of course, he's going to drum up hype. It could be his last season. We don't really know. I mean, it's still possible.
There's obviously a discourse about that could be the announcement. A lot of people mentioning they don't think the NBA or Nike would allow him to just.
That's very good. I think that it's a very good point that the NBA and Nike would have had to have a say if that had to do with the retirement. I think that alone being a Hennessy product or even Amazon Prime, a little shocking. Prime, we definitely thought, because he's already done the Prime sponsorship. They are the new sponsor for the league.
Honestly, they're probably looking at it like we're idiots for not doing that. That would have actually worked really well. We could have just recreated that entire bit, but anyways.
Yeah. And again, there's some negatives to this too that I don't feel I'm the appropriate person to talk about it with. You know, I think it's easier for me to maybe mention like Gatorade and how much I don't love seeing Kendrick Lamar voicing Cooper Flag Gatorade commercials, or because it's just like, or especially athletes like.
Do you think Gatorade is LeBron's forgiven J.R. Smith?
No, I don't actually. It's just some of those things kind of bug me, and kind of like I just wish, like I do appreciate Kawhi for dying on that hill a little bit. Not planting a tree on the hill, but it's just we know these aren't good products. I don't know. It's tough. It's the Jay-Z thing where it's you sell crack to boost your life, but you're also hurting your own story.
Are you talking about alcohol just in general?
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of sucks to see, like I said, big athletes still endorsing Gatorade when we know Gatorade is just not a very healthy option for kids to have, or there's better alternatives for kids, and that's the most important thing. And then I also think, like, the promotion of alcohol by athletes in general, not just the black thing or any of the other ways that it might fit the demographics. I think just athletes in general marketing alcohol, while it also being fundamentally one of the most damaging products to your body, is a little frustrating.
Did someone just recently lift that rule to where players could do that? It wasn't the NBA, I think it was hockey.
Probably.
Because I think hockey had a thing where it was like you are not allowed to advertise for
as a league, you can't tell LeBron James not to do that when you have teams sponsored by alcohol.
I mean, hockey does, or they did.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Ultimately, they were always going to lose that argument because it doesn't make sense. You can't. Oh, you get to profit off of it, but not me.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I get that from a business standpoint, and I agree with it. But ultimately, from a moral standpoint, like, you have all these ways to make sponsorship money. You have a lot of money. It is nicer whenever you make some decisions that are better for the world around you and profit off of it. Like, vitamin water isn't the best thing in the world. It's decent. It's not like a healthy alternative to anything.
So, I'm gonna say I don't think it's any better than Gatorade, is it?
No, but it got you get
and
it in the
tastes
market
a million times worse. Sorry.
Yeah, some of them.
That's personal opinion.
But like, I don't know. I just but that's 50 cent. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's a like. I don't know. I do wish athletes would help us because we are still heavily in a world where everything's bad for us. And I don't want to sound maha because I don't want to tell kids that I get measles shots because I'm a fucking moron that wears jeans to work out. I do think that it'd be nice for our athletes to take more of a responsibility in showing people how to be healthier and promote healthier activity besides just working out.
Yeah, I guess, what I would say in a perfect world, you'd be able to praise the ones who do that and then not be upset with the other ones who do the other thing, but that would be a perfect world where those guys aren't making a bunch of money off bad things while the good stuff is just being shoved down by someone else.
Yeah,
but
I know it's
besides drinking
idealistic.
water, I don't know what other products are they going to be endorsing. Pedialyte, I guess. Is Pedialyte better than Gatorade?
I mean, I would say there are some alternatives, but yeah, you would have. There's the more like Body Armor. I think people really ended up falling in Body Armor.
That's Gatorade.
Not anymore. That's not. Or did Gatorade buy them? Body Armor is supposed to be a healthy alternative.
Okay, I mean it just tastes like Gatorade. It's more.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's like, and it's a good big company.
I like some of the. It's Coca-Cola, so.
Yeah, Coke has it.
So there's no way it's anywhere close to good for me.
It's probably better than the Gatorade stuff because the hydration factor is a lot more important with Body Armor, which I believe is the part. But there's also stuff like alkaline water. Some of these pH waters, like some scientists don't necessarily believe the pH water means that much of a difference in regular water, right? So some of the
it depends on what you're drinking it for. Gatorade better at replenishing electrolytes. Body Armor focuses other places, potassium mostly.
Right, the potassium, but it's the same idea: electrolytes, potassium.
Body Armor is very good for a hangover, though, as is Gatorade. But Body Armor is a little thicker, so it's almost like you're eating.
That is true, though. I can have a Body Armor and kind of quench a hunger a little bit. But yeah, no, I mean, at this point, other than 15-hour breakdown.
The Rangers hired a new manager.
Oh, shit, Skip.
But we already, before the season, we talked about his hiring, and we basically were like, hey, Skip Schumacher will almost 100% be the manager next year, and now we're in that time.
Only thing I didn't realize when we talked about it, this asshole beat us in a World Series once.
Yeah, he was on that
like
2011, part of that 2011 Cardinals team. But yeah, Bochy was the manager of the 2010 Giants team, so.
So just like Bochy, you owe us one, bitch.
Yeah, man, and they're in a decent spot, honestly. Just retool that offense a little bit. Obviously, the pitching probably won't recreate this exact last season, but it'll still probably be really good. I believe Mike Maddox is said to be hanging on, I think. So
yeah, they fired one dude, or let go of one dude.
Bobby Wilson, who I think maybe he's just ready to go actually be a real legit manager. He was supposed to be, I was reading about it this morning, or just a few hours ago.
He might have been a little butthurt by the decisions made.
I don't know about butthurt by this decision. It's just
writing on the wall.
Dude, back in 2020, he was supposed to start managing the AA team, and then the season didn't happen. So then he came back to the Rangers and did. I mean, he's an amazing catcher position coach. He's the reason Jonah Heim and Jose Trevino both won, or at least Trevino won Gold Glove at catcher here, and part of why we've had some top-notch defensive catching, except for some reason he's not good at teaching guys how to throw base runners out, which might be part of what...
Which is easily the best. Like, I talking about that fucking Cardinals team, Yadier Molina was like the coolest catcher ever at behind the plate, dude.
That's offensive to the name Ivan Pudge Rodriguez.
No, but I feel you, but like
No one threw him out. Like Pudge didn't even have to get up to throw him out.
Bro, and that's fair. Maybe I didn't have enough Pudge, but like I loved the way that Yadier Molina looked like he was actually trying to throw at your head and just happened to hit the pitcher's glove. Like that dude looked pissed the fuck off every time he threw someone out.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of Molina brothers, and almost all of them were catchers and their dad. It's a cool family. But still prefer Benji just because he played here, and he was hilarious. But Schumacher should be fun. We'll obviously have some more time to go over that before the season actually starts, because we still have to see which coaches are going to stick around.
In a month and a half before I get flagrant with my Rangers takes again.
Rangers takes. When does the NBA season actually start? It's got to be in the next 2 weeks, right?
Yeah. I think actually usually it's around Halloween when it actually is.
October 21st.
Yeah.
So just a couple weeks. The highlights of Wemby so far through summer have been crazy. The Spurs officially listed him as 7'5" today. Well, I'm pretty sure I was told Derek Lively grew like 5 inches. So
yeah, there is a lot. You're right. There is a lie for this. I have not tried at all to verify, but there is a lively propaganda coming out of it. Yeah, I mean, you have some interesting stuff with the Mavs. You have AD with the eye surgery. You have Kyrie probably coming back faster than he was initially talking about.
Didn't they just lose someone else?
They had an issue with Brandon Williams, one of their young point guards, but I don't think he'll be out very long. They signed Delano Blanton and Dennis Smith Jr., but I don't know if either are going to make the roster. Yeah.
DSJ was ruled out for Monday's exhibition.
Not awesome.
Gafford sprayed his ankle, but I guess he'll be back right around the time the season starts, maybe a couple games late.
Yeah, I don't think we've had any big injuries. I know there's been some that have caused guys to miss some time. Like I think there was a rookie that just recently got put on hold for his start of his season. I think Scoot Henderson also not going to be playing for the start of the season. So yeah, there will be some injuries.
What do you just know off the top of your head about Tyrese Halliburton's schedule?
Halliburton has been the least talkative, it seems. Tatum's trying to get his ass back ASAP. Everyone's talking about that story. But Halliburton's probably not due back this season at all.
Not at all this season, yeah. That's just such...
That's what you're supposed to do. But Jason Tatum could also not.
Terrible injury to have. Just all kinds of terrible timing about that injury in the game, in the series, in the season, what it means for the next season.
And it also doesn't help that he's more or less been the realization of the potential of Sean Livingston when he was younger.
Okay.
Very similar players in a lot of ways. And Sean Livingston famously, much sooner in his career, tore the absolute shit out of his knee. It was never the same again. That one was a much more freak accident injury. I don't expect that to be the problem with Hallie, but just really sucks, dude. And like I said, Tatum, if you think you can come back and be a superhuman, awesome, don't be a fucking idiot. Don't waste more of your career attempting to play this season if it's really that sketchy. But yeah, I mean, other than that, we'll see how it goes. I really don't know. This basketball season's got plenty of storylines to follow. There will be plenty of interest from a lot of different teams. We can make some jokes about the preseason odds when I get back.
All right.
That'll be close enough to the season.
Before we wrap up, I need you to give me a full 60 seconds on what you know about defenseman Trey Taylor, number 27.
For who?
The Dallas Stars.
Trey Taylor. If you told me there was a hockey player named Trey Taylor, I don't know if I'd believe you.
Honestly, that's like that name fits like every sport. I feel like it's just a vague enough name.
But hockey.
I've never heard of this guy before, but he's on the Stars opening roster. Okay, so he played for our minor league team last year. Cool. So yeah, hockey, football, baseball, basketball. Let's see if I wanted to make it last another minute. What you got on Ryder Cup? All right.
America got their ass beat, right?
It was really terrible, yeah.
Yeah, because I saw they were doing the Trump dance early, and then almost instantly.
Yeah, I know we didn't use our home field advantage at all. shooting down drives with surface-to-air missiles or nothing. That's what I would have been doing.
Well, you know what? What we might need these guys to do, they might suck at golfing and representing the best of our country at golf, but our president needs his ego stroked, and he keeps going to people who won't give him this anymore. We're going to have issues. So we might need these guys to go buddy up the cheese ball in charge. Just to
they're already all buddies with the cheese ball in charge.
All right, just keep him at the golf course. Keep him busy.
All right. Well, with that, I guess we're going to wrap this thing up. Unless you just believe to talk about anything else, you know?
No. Rock on.
Well, congratulations. Have fun. Be safe. And we'll look forward to seeing you when we see you.
The first married man episode of PTR.
Ooh. Unless we don't know where Caesar is tonight.
Oh, Caesar.